Welcome to Urban Yoga. I'm Kate Murphy. When I began my yoga practice 10 years ago after an injury, I was looking for a way to increase my flexibility and to improve my core strength. I began by practicing with the DVR tape in my living room, being led by a world-famous yoga instructor. As time passed and I became more confident in my practice, I moved to a yoga studio where the energy of the people in the room, the inspiration of the teacher, and the challenge of a changing class format took my yoga practice to a more spiritual place. It's in this place of spirit that the real yoga practice begins. The Sanskrit word yoga has the literal meaning of yoke. When we practice yoga, we are yoking the body, the mind, and the spirit by linking the breath to a sequence of asanas or body postures. This practice of linking the breath to a pose is called vinyasa yoga, or sometimes vinyasa flow. Vinyasa flow yoga allows one to find stillness in the mind. The mind is too occupied with the subtleties of the yoga poses and the depth of the breath to wander, worry, or think about the past or the future. During a vinyasa flow practice, everything is right here, right now. In this place of being present and aware, we can begin to peel away the layers of things that aren't serving us. We are free to uncover what lies at the core of our beings: peace, tranquility, even joy. One of the roadblocks to this kind of peace and joy in our lives is fear. When we allow ourselves to be fearful of an uncertain future, we rob ourselves of the joy of the present. This is one of the reasons I like to teach and practice arm balances and inversions in my yoga classes. The thought of turning oneself upside down or balancing precariously might cause feelings of fear or panic, but when we allow ourselves to be guided by the calm of our breath and use the strength that exists at the core of our beings, we can quickly learn how to cope with fear or panic on the yoga mat, and we can take those skills with us out into the world. Today, I'm going to teach the arm balance Bakasana, or crane pose. Many people won't attempt crane pose because they view themselves as beginners, and rather than feel the discomfort of being a beginner, we get stuck in the inertia of endless repetition of what we already know. When we walk away from the challenge of mastering something new, we cheat ourselves of the feelings of accomplishment that are waiting for us. Let me assure you, wherever you are today in your practice is exactly where you are meant to be. Have a little faith, let go of your fear, and remain open to the possibility that you may master this pose today, or maybe next year, and one isn't better than the other.
Begin in simple child's pose. Big toes together, knees apart, belly relaxing down between the knees. Arms extended energetically out in front of you, fingers are spread wide. Begin to open up through the low back, open up through the hips. Begin to lengthen and deepen the quality of your breath, inhaling and exhaling through your nose, maybe constricting the back of the throat a little bit using the Ujjayi breath. Just melt down into the mat and begin to let go. On an inhale, rise up into tabletop position. Wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, fingers spread wide and hands push the earth away. Begin to take some cat-cow poses, inhaling, dropping the belly, lifting the chin and the tailbone, and exhaling, rounding through the spine. Continue following your own breath, dropping the belly, finding some motion in the spinal column, getting the spinal fluid moving. Return to a neutral spine. Inhale your right arm forward and your left leg back, opposite arm leg. Feel the place around your navel pull into your spine. On an exhale, pull elbow to knee, contracting through your core. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, grow long again. And exhale, lower down. Switching sides, lift left arm, right leg. Push the heel to the back of the room, reach your fingers to the front of the room, and then exhale, squeezing the elbow to the knee. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, grow long. And exhale, lower down. Turning the toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Feet are hip distance apart. Heels reach down toward the earth. Sits bones lift up to the ceiling. Hands reach out in front of you, and the chest softens down between the shoulders. Take your gaze to your legs, maybe your shins, your knees, or your upper thighs. Pull belly into the spine. Head, neck, and shoulders relax. Breathe. With a slight bend in your knees, step your feet between your hands. Inhale halfway up for length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, swan dive down, lead with your heart. Inhale, halfway up for length. Exhale, step back into plank pose and lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Feel your body begin to open, hamstrings open, lower back lengthens. Feel your neck and shoulders relax a little bit more. Look to the front of the mat between your hands and step or float forward. Inhale halfway up for length. Exhale, forward fold. On an inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Step your right foot out and clasp your hands behind your back. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Let your fists fall overhead. Rock from side to side. Feel the shoulders begin to open. Feel the hamstrings and the hip open up. Release the hands down to the mat and move into Malasana, yogi squat. Big toes point out, heels point in. Tailbone reaches down toward the floor. Palms press together at heart center. Lift through your heart space, broaden through your collarbones. Tuck your chin just a little bit and imagine a string pulling the crown of your head up to the ceiling. Breathe. Feel the hips open, feel the groin open, feel the spine lengthen. Moving into Bakasana, crane pose, reach your hands out in front of you. Begin to rise up onto your toes. Create a shelf with the backs of your arms and begin to take your weight into your hands. Take your gaze 6 to 8 inches in front of your hands and slowly begin to lift one toe off the floor and then maybe another. Use your core. Transfer your weight into your hands. Feel fearless. Maybe you can lift one heel up to your hip, then another heel up to your hip. Keep your knees squeezing onto the backs of your arms. Keep them squeezing together as you lift your hips. And when you're ready, step or float back into plank. Lower down Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Look up to the front of the mat, step or float forward. Inhale halfway up, exhale forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, reach up, look up, and exhale, hands to heart center. Tadasana.
Bakasana requires strength in the shoulders and the core. It also requires flexibility in the hamstrings, hips, and groin. It mostly requires the willingness to feel foolish. A great philosopher once said, "Do everything with a mind that lets go. If you let go a little, you will know a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will know a lot of peace. And if you let go completely, you will know complete peace and freedom. The universe will have lost its grip on you." From that place within me that I know to be divine, I honor the divinity within you. Namaste.